South Lumber on Highway 231 in Youngstown.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX New Haven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Do you know who I am?
Live and local inside the J. Michaels studio.
People know me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hot tub, I'm full of water. I stay hot tub, stay very hot. Stay hot tub. Gonna get you hot. I'm gonna make it wet. Stay hot tub, rubber tub in the hot tub, rubber tub with me. Should I get in the hot tub? Yeah. Will you make me sweat? Yeah. Should I get in the hot tub? Yeah. Will you make me wet? Yeah.
Well.
Good morning.
You're damn quiet this
Go
morning.
check his pulse.
That's never going to happen.
I've never heard him this.
Good morning.
Never going to happen.
When's time I've ever heard you like this if a hurricane's approaching?
I just got depressed what we were talking about off the air.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Anyway, welcome to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We are home of the Auburn Tigers. Andy Burcham, 8:15 today. Talking about the huge game at 2:30 on ABC. Auburn Tigers versus the Georgia Bulldogs, and, of course, Mosley football. I think they have an open week this week. They're knocking out of the ballpark, undefeated, one of the best teams in the state of Florida this year. Mosley, great job by all those folks over there.
2 weeks, Niceville.
Woo,
It's a battle of the
big
heavyweights
big.
right there.
Cannot wait. I can hear it now. I had my mic turned. I did it myself. I had it turned down real low. What else is going on? I'm hoping we get a special guest in here at 8:30 today. I'm not going to say anything yet until I know for sure he's going to be here, but we're getting pumped up. College football starts tonight. We got a couple games tonight. Texas Tech versus Troy. Troy Trojans out of Troy, Alabama. Kickoff time is 6 o'clock on ESPNU. You got Sam Houston versus UTEP. That game will kick off at 8 on CBS Sports Network. Friday night games, if you like Friday nights, it should be high school football,
Yep.
Nothing to do with college.
I agree.
You know what? But there is a big one. I will mention a couple of them. Some I could care. I'll mention them. I don't like this. You've got Jacksonville State versus Kennesaw State. You got Houston versus TCU. That TCU game kicks off at 6:30 on ESPN. Then you got the big one. I want to watch this one. And I got to watch it because I haven't watched them enough.
Yeah.
Michigan State, which their coach done an incredible job.
Oh, that is.
Where
a
did
good
he
game.
come from?
Oregon State.
And did he bring the quarterback with him?
No.
Where's he at now? Where's his quarterback at now?
FSU.
Okay, should that tell you something?
Oh, yeah.
And we're being too critical of that quarterback. I'm being honest.
We are, but I mean, these guys are getting paid a lot of money to win, and it just wasn't him this year.
Now they're going to play. They're going to host. I believe. Are they hosting? It says here hosting. I thought they were at Oregon.
I thought they were at Oregon too.
I did too. I think this is.
I was looking at Oregon's schedule, and I was like, "How did they get all?"
This is Oregon's got them at home.
Yeah,
that's what I think. Anyway, they're going to play Oregon, number 6 ranked Oregon. That kicks off at 8 o'clock on Fox. I want to watch that and see how that plays out. And then we have some big games, huge football games this weekend.
I know Ohio State beat them a little bit worse than what people thought, but if you watch that game, that was a tight game in the first half. There was a couple turnovers, a missed penalty that really kept Michigan State from being like tied at halftime. So that might be a good game.
Keep talking while I'm looking for something.
Okay. I do think Oregon's turned the court a little bit. I think their offensive line is playing better. That's why they were struggling early in the year. So I do put them in that top 5 now. But the top 4, I think, are clear. It's Texas, Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State. I think
Has Oregon lived up to all the hype?
I don't think they have.
Not yet.
At all.
Not yet?
But I think they're getting incrementally better. And
how many games in? 4 games in?
Yeah, but if you look at Dylan Gabriel, and I know we haven't talked a lot about him, he's throwing for over 80% completion rate. That's outrageous.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, he's still playing really well. I think they're playing a lot of vanilla type offense. I think they're holding a little bit back for Ohio State. We'll see this week because Michigan State's going to challenge them. They got a good defensive line.
Alabama held back some stuff before they played Georgia. They knew they were going to win those cupcake games. In Wisconsin, it worked out where really have to do a whole lot.
Right.
So, yeah.
Kirby talked about it after the game, about he was surprised about some of the empty sets, how they ran some pass plays out of that and run plays.
I watched every game and all the shifts, all the motions. I saw some things I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
Getting back to the big games this weekend, this is the games I want to watch, and I think most of our viewers, SEC people, are like these anyway. You got number 9 Missouri at number 25 Texas A&M. I'm going to be at the Cajun Place around 11.
That's an interesting game there.
Yeah, Layton has a football game.
Oh wow!
At the flag football game, and Lorelei's cheering, so I'll be at that game. And right as soon as it gets over, we're going to head on down to the Cajun Place and watch the game and let Jason buy me some wings if he ever shows up. That game will kick off at 11 o'clock on ABC. Then the big one, right? You can leave it on ABC all day if you'd like. Auburn at Georgia. Kickoff is at 2:30 ABC. We'll come back and talk about all these in a second. Ole Miss at South Carolina. Ole Miss,
man, they look bad.
They got slapped around a little bit. First tough game they played. I think they'll play a lot better this week. But I'm going to tell you what, South Carolina's defense, they got a couple guys that can play anywhere in the country.
If you watch that Kentucky game, their offense played really well too, but they got some defensive linemen that will, go first round. That Stewart kid, everybody in the country wanted 5-star. They were lucky to get him, but he looks the part.
Yeah, I was impressed with that kid.
Yeah.
That kickoff, the Ole Miss South Carolina kickoff is also at 2:30. That's on ESPN. Then you have Alabama at Vandy. Kickoff time is 3:15 on the SEC network. And then another big game on ABC, the night game. Tennessee. I'm going to talk, if I have a chance today, I'm going to talk more on Tennessee. Tennessee, I believe, where are they at? Are they at Arkansas?
Yeah, they're at Arkansas.
At Arkansas. Kickoff is at 6:30 on ABC. That's,
Arkansas could very well be undefeated. Taking some mistakes. The quarterback's really good. He's about 6'5", 6'6", and really athletic.
They might fall apart the rest of the year,
right?
But they don't.
He's done a pretty good job.
I think they need to keep him. I think they leave him alone.
What's your expectations of Arkansas? Do you think you're going to play for a national title every year?
You shouldn't.
No.
But Sam Pittman does a great job.
I think
and
so.
Bobby Petrino has done a wonderful job as offensive coordinator there, so I'd leave him alone.
Why didn't you mention the FSU Clemson game with those big games?
I'm still going.
Okay.
Central Florida, the big one, the state championship game, maybe. Central Florida at Florida. Florida's got to win this ball game. 2 weeks, get ready. This is on the SEC network. Kickoff is 6:45. I want to watch that.
I got to give some love to Dion because they were an 18-point underdog, went into UCF, and they whooped UCF. It wasn't that close. And that
surprised me.
It surprised me, too. But we've talked about those offensive and defensive lines. They looked a lot better. If he can win 8 games this year, he's going to be up for a bigger job if that's what he wants to do. We still don't know, if he wants to get out after his son's leave, but I was really impressed with that win.
He's coming to Tallahassee. Everybody's talking about it. Or Florida.
It would be good for us. We would be talking about something every other day.
Yeah. All right.
He would recruit well, though.
Next week, everybody knows Clemson and FSU. Kickoff time?
6 o'clock. That's on ESPN.
ESPN, 6 o'clock, Clemson. Is that at FSU?
Yeah, it's at FSU.
That's right. Now, the following week, there's some pretty good games coming up next week. I want to go those real quick. South Carolina, Alabama on ABC. Kickoff's 11. We're talking about a week from now, a week from Saturday. Missouri, they have a cupcake schedule. I think it's UMass. Then you've got, that's on ESPN2. That kickoff time for that game is also 11 o'clock. Then the big ones, the big games. 2:30 on ABC. Oklahoma, Texas, the Red River from Dallas, Texas, the old Cotton Bowl.
Beware, Texas.
Yeah, you better
beware. They got you last year.
Mississippi State, Georgia.
Oof.
That game will be played at 3:15 on the SEC network. And then the one we're waiting for, the old big, this used to be something special. Florida at Tennessee. Kickoff time is 6 o'clock on ESPN.
I think that's going to be a total beatdown right there because...
Well, he can either flip the season or he can
He's got an opportunity, like you said.
If they lose to Central Florida and they lose to Tennessee...
if they lose to Central Florida, the way Colorado beat them, if you're not on that level, what are you doing? You got to make a move. And Ohio State, Oregon's that weekend, too.
Oh, there's so many big games. Yeah.
That's our Big Ten version of Georgia, Alabama.
This weekend's not as big as the 12th. The 12th is crazy.
No, that's the 12th I was talking about.
Ole Miss at LSU. Oh, this next weekend's a good weekend. ABC, that kickoff
What do you
is at
make of Ole Miss
6:30.
losing like that? And then what do you think of the South Carolina game? Because South Carolina's not a gimme game anymore. I
Yeah,
mean,
they could blow up on them. I think they'll be okay. We'll see. Vandy at Kentucky. That kickoff time is 6:45 on the SEC network. That is again. I'm not going to go any further than that. But there's some really good games coming up.
That's what we love this time of year. High school football is getting towards the playoff time. You know, we're finding out who's good, who's not in college football. We get some big-time matchups. This is what we live for right here.
Let me go back to Tennessee. You talking about Tennessee. I think Tennessee's a really good football team.
Yes.
If they... I'm worried sick as an Alabama guy. That game will be, it's going to be, well, I don't know. There's so many big games that weekend. There's so many of them that weekend. I'm not sure. Georgia, I think's on that. Georgia and Texas play that night, that day. Alabama, Tennessee. I think that is the Oregon-Ohio State weekend, isn't it?
No, that's the 12th.
Okay.
So it's a week before. And so you got Missouri, Auburn, you got Kentucky, Florida, Texas, Georgia's that week.
There's some big SEC games that
Georgia
week.
got to go to Texas. They did them no favors this first year in the SEC scheduling. That's probably the big. Oklahoma, South Carolina would be a good game. Alabama, Tennessee, obviously. And that's about the best games in the SEC, at least.
Yeah, the newest and latest, depending on who you're following, SEC power rankings is changed up. Alabama is number 1 in this one. Texas, Tennessee number 3, Georgia number 4, Missouri 5, LSU 6, Ole Miss 7th, Texas A&M 8th, 9th is South Carolina, 10th is Kentucky, 11th Oklahoma, 12th Arkansas. 13th, Florida. Hey, Florida's not last anymore.
Because Auburn is.
14th's Vandy, 15th's Auburn, and last, and not to be forgotten, the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Julie asked me today, she says, do you want an Ole Miss shirt? You know, I wear these different shirts.
Yeah.
Florida, Florida State, Auburn, Alabama, Texas A&M, Kentucky for him.
No Ohio State.
She goes, I asked Jim to get me one. I want Jim to get me one.
I'll get you one.
Yeah, I want it, but it's got to be that real nice cloth.
No, I get them from the bookstore up there in Columbus at the school. So they got some stuff that you can't get.
And I would like the traditional colors. I don't want gray.
You don't want our alternate uniform
I don't
colors?
want- no.
Come on, man.
No, I'm not into that.
Come on, Boomer.
I don't want. Anyway, she goes, you want an Ole Miss one? I said, no, I do not want an Ole Miss one. I don't know, something about Ole Miss. Not too happy. I don't know if I went over this earlier or not.
I just want to say this about Georgia. I think they're the most dangerous team in the country right now. I know that they just lost to Alabama, but I think they got better as the game went on. I think they figured some stuff out on offense. So I have them number 2 in the SEC. I think they're a little bit better in Texas on defense. I'm not still sold on, Tennessee being as complete as Alabama and Georgia, but that was a heavyweight fight. Everybody left Georgia for dead at halftime. They came back like gangbusters, and Beck, I think, is who found himself in that second half. He was under pressure. He made a lot of really good throws in that game. So
He threw it 50 times. I think it's the most he's ever thrown a football.
And I thought that was a mistake by the staff, especially in the first half. But Alabama did a great job attacking and forcing them to throw the ball because they weren't going to allow them to run the ball in the first half. I think they backed off a little bit in the second half, weren't quite as aggressive, maybe wanted to sit on that lead a little bit, maybe not put their defensive backs in, man situations.
The biggest, I'm talking Bama, not Georgia,
Yeah.
but the biggest disappointment for me is not only Alabama, but Auburn. Clock management in the second half when you got a lead.
Yeah.
Why in the world? I don't care if you can still you can still run any play you want. Why do you not snap the ball when you got a 10, 11, 14-point lead? You snap the ball with 5 seconds left on the clock or less. Georgia wouldn't have had that last couple possessions that had done that. Oklahoma wouldn't have had it if they'd done it a couple of times.
I hate these clock rules, but if you have the lead late in the third or even fourth quarter, you can run nearly a minute off the clock every snap. It's 40-second game clock. It gets restarted every time. Going out of bounds doesn't matter anymore. First downs don't matter anymore. So they're running 40 seconds every play. So unless it's an incomplete pass, so I'm with you. You can shorten that game.
You see how they've gotten better since the Florida State, Georgia Tech, the way they're supposed to manage the clock.
Yeah,
they finally, the officials I'm talking about, finally got it right.
Somebody said something to them.
It was wrong. We pointed it out week 1. Said they're not starting the clock like they do in the NFL,
No.
and they did after that game.
Could have been in all those threats going to kill you emails that there's referees.
They get a lot of those. Here are your official standings in the SEC right now. The number one team in the SEC at 2-0 is Texas A&M. Number 2 is a big tie. Texas, Alabama, Missouri, Tennessee, LSU. They're all 1-0 in the SEC play. Tied at 7th, Oklahoma, Georgia, South Carolina, Arkansas, Florida at 1-1. This is official now. At 12th place, Kentucky, 1-2. 13th place, Ole Miss, Vandy, all 0-1. And then 15th place, we have a tie. Auburn and Mississippi State, 0-2. Now, you're going by the SEC conference record and the way they do it, this is your true standings right now. Texas A&M's number 1. And last place is Auburn and Mississippi State. Hey, we want you to go ahead and visit all of our wonderful sponsors we have. Jason, let's talk about Max Fit Sports Nutrition. I want to get big muscle mass. I want to be an unbelievable football player. I got to work extremely hard. It tears my body down. What can I do to build these muscles up?
And I want to be able to get out of bed. So and I know you got products for both of those.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I know we talk a little bit about more, building muscle stuff for high school kids, but some of our, wellness products like our Joint Boost are really good. But if you're trying to build muscle, it's all about calories and the type of calories you're eating, especially this time of year when you're actually in season. So we're just trying to maintain muscle, but we have our high school stack. We've been killing it. A lot of people have been coming in. It's our Complete Mass 600. It's got 600 calories, 50 grams of protein, 80 grams of carbs, good fats, full multivitamin, only 4 grams of sugar, which is good so you doesn't put on bad weight. But if you want to get some weight on them, you got to get calories in. Getting the 2-3 shakes like that in a day and eating your 4 main meals will get you to about 4,500, 5,000 calories, where some of these kids need to grow because the metabolism's so high. It's very hard for these young kids to put on weight. So, but that goes with our K4 creatine and our multivitamin. The multivitamin is just going to help process more food, and you're going to get bigger, stronger, faster just by helping, converting that food to muscle.
It's scary when you really start, and I've been following some of this health. As you get older, you kind of start thinking about your health more than you probably should when you're younger. But we make such a bad mistake, and you get your kids, and like I was on a habit of eating terrible, and I had no idea how terrible sugar is for your body, causing cancer. It feeds cancer. Sugar will kill you. Your eating habits at a young age
slows your metabolism down. Forces release cortisol. Cortisol is the worst thing for your body. It destroys.
And I'm addicted to it. It is addicting.
We all are. I mean, if you've eaten anything over the last 10 years, especially with the high fructose corn syrup, it is addicting. It reacts like the brain in the brain, like cocaine. And I hate to say that, but it's been studied. So sugar is addicting, especially the high fructose corn syrup. But there's ways to eat that you can eat really good and get enough calories in. I mean, if you love like meat, potatoes, these kids don't
lean
have
steak.
And some of these kids can get away with some sugar. Just stay away from the, high fructose corn syrup, the refined sugars. There are some natural stuff out there that could be beneficial.
I was reading something. There's something in macaroni and cheese that all the kids love. There's some chemical they put in there.
It's probably a preservative.
Yeah, that will cause
most of those preservatives.
They're like, why do they let these companies put the stuff in this food that's killing us?
Stay away from processed food, and not to plug my own company, but we have the Max Fit meals. If you're struggling to find out what to eat, when to eat it, and if you are getting good meals, we make healthy, fresh meals. We get it from a local farm. We get our cows butchered from a local farm. It's all made fresh. We deliver our meals to you each week. They're 10 meals for $130. So if you're trying to take the guesswork out, or if you don't have time to cook or prep your meals for yourself, email maxfitmeals@gmail.com and we can get you set up with a consultation.
Yeah, take care of yourself. If you take care of yourself now, it'll take care of you when you get older.
Oh, for sure.
All right, J. Michael's, the legendary J. Michael's restaurant. Oh, my God. Yesterday was Pat. Brian was down there. We had a great time. Phil showed up, Donna. We had a wonderful time, J. Michael's. It was packed out like it always is on Wednesday. J. Michael's, world-famous spaghetti every Wednesday, but the best seafood, the coldest beer, the legendary J. Michael's. South Oak Title and Closing for all your real estate needs. Chuck Tucker and his crew do an incredible job. They're expanding everywhere. Mark Cowart sells multi-million-dollar homes down on 38. That's all he uses, South Oak Title and Closing, him and Beth Mulvey. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1. Nobody does a better job than Jason. Local company taking care of locals. they're the most honest. Jason, you used them. You had a problem. They came out, and you've been extremely pleased. Just like Dr. Chad Mitchell, all these people that have been in here that use them.
Yeah.
I really can't say enough good things about them.
My air conditioner wasn't working. They came out within 24 hours. You're never going to get that from a national company. And, it was a minor thing, but they did it. He didn't even charge me. So he came out and he said, I'll take care of this. And my mom had an issue with her air conditioner. It came out, like I said, within 24 hours.
I was walking on Jay Michaels, and somebody, hey, let me tell you something. I listened to your show. I called them. I said, I've been with another company. They told me it'd be a week.
Yeah.
I said, the heck with them. They were out there. They were out there the day they told me they were coming. They got it fixed. I said, everything you said about them is true. They're great.
If it's 100 degrees out and you got it without air conditioner for a week, you're going to be miserable.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Deal with these local guys because we're not just BS. We've all used them. They've helped us. And when you get them on the phone, they're going to do whatever they can to help you.
Great people.
Yeah.
Locals taking care of locals. I mean, shut up. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
How am I delusional? Did I say I was a great ball player? I am a great ball player. I was. That's a fact, and you know it. Back up your stinking line, you bald-headed moron. I dare you to back it up. You can't. You can't back it up. You're a liar. You're a bone-faced liar.
Are you still there, Jim?
Paul Feinbaum, weeknights, 6 to 10 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, a chance of thunderstorms and some clouds, and a high of 87 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the southeast. For tonight, mostly clouds and a low near 76. Tomorrow, mixture of mostly clouds and light rain and a high around 83. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Attention homeowners, are you dreaming of a backyard oasis? Look no further than S&R Fencing, your go-to destination for quality outdoor transformations. At S&R, they specialize in crafting custom fences, decks, retainer walls, and all exterior construction that not only enhances the beauty of your home, but also stands the test of time. Their experienced team takes pride in delivering top-notch craftsmanship with a personal touch. S&R Fencing, locally owned, licensed, and insured, and a member of the BBB.
Time to let the big dogs eat.
How about that answer by Georgia? In the end zone, touchdown, Georgia!
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio, ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's Thursday. It's Mosley Day. We are 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, home of the Mosley Dolphins. You can listen to all their football games right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. They have an open week coming up. They're undefeated. They're probably one of the best teams in the Panhandle of Florida, maybe one of the best teams in the state.
We got them ranked number one. Number one versus number two next week.
Big football game coming up. 2 weeks, not this week.
Well, the 11th, I believe.
Yeah, they're open this week.
Yeah.
We got all right, Coach Whitten. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How about y'all?
We are doing outstanding. Hey, great game last week.
Yes,
last Monday, right? 40.
Correct, Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, 42-14 at Milton on the road. Got it done. Talk to us about how the game played out and tell us who played well. Give us some names of some of your players.
No, I thought we had a really good first quarter. We started off hot. I mean, Sammy Freitas had a great game, threw for 3 touchdowns. Jack Massey, a wide receiver, really went off, had 189 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns.
Nice.
LaKavion Jackson continued to run the ball well, had 2 rushing touchdowns. And then on defense, too, LaKavion had 2 forced fumbles, one of them which he just went in and just ripped the ball away from the running back like he was an elementary school kid and just took it to the house for a touchdown. Sawyer Schultz had 11 tackles. Wyatt Fleming had 10 tackles. Big Joe Chima recovered a fumble. So it was a great team effort. I thought the guys played really well, had a really strong second half. And obviously anytime you can get a district win on the road, that's important to your season, and just was really happy with the way the guys played.
Outstanding. Let me ask something. How do you handle open week? Well, it's kind of different this week. You had that game Monday night, but what will you do? How have you handled the rest of the week? What days do you give them off, or do you go out there every day? Tell us, and what do you dress? Do you go full pads? Do you go shorts and shoulder pads? You trying to get their legs on them? What are you trying to get accomplished this week?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a unique week playing on Monday. Obviously, my week's kind of thrown off because of that. Typically, we give them Monday and Friday off on the open week, but obviously we played on Monday. Tuesday we came out just in helmets, just kind of loosened the soreness out, went through some game plan stuff, some little things that we're getting ready for Niceville in 2 weeks. And then we were in helmet and shoulder pads yesterday, and we'll be helmet and shoulder pads again today, give them Friday off. But, we're just definitely working on things that we need to continue to improve on, but also taking advantage of our extra week of preparation and starting to get focused on some game plan things for next week. And like I said, just trying to utilize that extra time that we have.
With this off week, how healthy are you guys? You guys going to come into the Niceville game pretty much full strength?
Yeah, we definitely, we've definitely had our fair share of bumps and bruises through the early part of the season. And, we've only lost one guy for the year in Talon Moore, but, we've had some other guys step up in his place. But, all in all, we're definitely relatively healthy for this point in the football season.
We're really going to build this thing up next week. We need this game. This game will be played. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. Tommy Oliver, Friday night, 7:00, and we need to pack that thing out. They're known to having huge crowds. It's like a little college up there when you play there. We got to create that atmosphere here at Tommy Oliver. We need to pack that place completely out. This is more or less it, or am I getting ahead of myself?
No, this is definitely going to be a big game. I mean, realistically, the winner of this game is going to win the district championship, and obviously, we beat them last year for the district championship, and they're going to be fired up. I know they're going to be bringing a large crowd, and we've got to be able to match that. I'm hoping, in my mind, this is one of the biggest ball games that Panama City and Tommy Oliver's seen probably in close to 20 years, and we need to have a great atmosphere and definitely give us a home field advantage for that football game.
Cannot wait. That's going to be a huge football game. Right, 7:00, not this Friday, next Friday. Tommy Oliver. That's big time. Big time football.
It seems like this team's hitting on all cylinders. I really don't see a weakness. I've been talking about how good this team is, probably the best in the Panhandle. We're going to find out in 2 weeks. But what do you need to do to maybe beat Niceville that maybe, is a weakness that we haven't seen on tape maybe?
Well, Niceville, the first thing, they got 2 Division I running backs. One of them being, Connor Matthews, who's probably, for sure leading the Panhandle in rushing. He's one of the top guys in the state. He's a tank. He's a bowling ball. We have to be the best tackling team that we've been up to this point, because he does a great job of taking 2-yard runs and turn them into 5 to 6, or taking 7 or 8 and getting first downs. And we got to do a great job of rallying to the football, get as many hats to the ball, and when we got a chance to get him on the ground, we've got to get him on the ground. I think that's one of the keys for us defensively. And then offensively, we've got to do a great job of executing. Whenever you're playing a big ball game, obviously the turnover differential is going to be huge. So we've got to execute, protect the football, and our guys got to make plays. There's going to be opportunities for one-on-one matchups, and we've got to win those one-on-one matchups on the offensive side of the ball.
What do they do on defense? What do they base out of?
Well, they do a lot. Niceville is one of the tough things about Niceville. They're going to that, this year they're basing more out of an odd front. Traditionally, they've been a 4-man front, but they've been a lot more odd this year. So you're going to get odd, you're going to get 4 down, you're going to get some bear looks, and then on the back end, you're going to get every coverage known to man. You're going to get cover 3, you're going to get man free, you're going to get cover 0, you get a little bit of quarters. They've added a little bit of Tampa 2. I mean, that's one of the difficulties in playing. They got a great coaching staff, and their kids, they know a lot of football and can do, they can do a lot of different things and try to create a lot of different looks trying to confuse the quarterback. So again, those are kind of going into this, knowing that about them, why we give ourselves that extra week before we play them, so we can just make sure that we check all the boxes for everything that we need to be prepared for in playing them next Friday.
Do you feel like you match up with them physically?
I think so. I mean, we got a big offensive line. Our defensive line, our defense, our front 7, I think, is really talented. So I think it's a good matchup. Obviously, I mean, you look at their scores; they've been beating everybody really bad. We have too. We've had a couple of common opponents this year, and our scores, have almost been identical. So I think it's 2 really good football teams, and both teams have really good players, and and we've talked about this as a team, whenever 2 good teams play one another, the margin for error is small.
Yeah.
So, they're just little thing, protecting the football, not having missed assignments, executing on special teams. Special teams are going to be huge in a game like this. So, every little thing matters. And, I think it's going to be a great game with 2 really good teams playing one another. Every time we've played, it's been a close ball game, less than a touchdown since I've been here. So I expect it to be the same 2 Fridays from now.
Coach, thank you so much for coming on. Get you some rest. Unbelievable football game a week from Friday. Mosley versus Niceville. Cannot wait, man. Hey, keep up the great work, man. Congratulations on the season so far.
I appreciate it.
Good luck, Coach.
Coach Whitten, great job.
That's a heavyweight fight right there, man. I mean, if you want to go see a really good football game, I mean, 2 evenly matched teams, probably the 2 best teams to pan on. Go out there on Friday night, go watch this game. You won't be disappointed.
Big time high school football right there. This is going to be something special.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some of our great people, something special. I think I'm going to head out there tonight. Karaoke tonight. I think Jason's going to show up and buy me some steak fajitas.
I might do that.
El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Come up, I'll buy one and let you have the buy one and I'll have the free one. Yeah, that'd be fun. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, the best happy hour out there. You buy one small margarita, the next one's free. House wine and draft beer when a college game's being played on the weekends, and on the NFL package on Sundays. You get $5 pitchers. Go check it out. We think you'll love it. Tonight is a fun night. There'll be a lot of people there karaoke. Great place to have a birthday party. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. So proud to have Dr. Chad Mitchell, a legend. I've known him for 25 years. The guy's an incredible doctor, incredible person. He's a great doctor, but he's a better person.
Yeah.
I love that man. He is a truly great man. Give him a call, make an appointment. You don't have to have a great athletic body. You can have Wildcat's body and get in there, and he'll take care of you.
Nobody wants Wildcat's body.
Oh, you look good.
You're Kentucky Wildcat, man.
Don't cut yourself down. You look good. Look at them guns. Look good, baby.
You look like you've been going Max Fit.
He has.
I have. You know I have.
Yeah. Try it before you buy it. Anyway, that Cajun place, I'm hoping Rick will get in here today. That Cajun place, we know in the summertime, the food's unbelievable. Everybody in the Southeast comes down here. They all want to get in there. And sometimes you can wait up to an hour to get in the summertime.
Oh, yeah.
They take care of people when it's local season, which it is now. Get in there, wear your colors, have a great time. I'll be there at 11 o'clock for the Missouri Texas A&M ball game after Leighton and Lorelai's cheerleading football game. And they got 27 plus TVs everywhere. They got the best wings you'll get anywhere. Matter of fact, all the food's incredible. It's like being in New Orleans. The food's that good. Beignets, bread pudding, you name it. They got it. Oh my God, everything. You've been there. You know how good it is.
I love that steak.
$5 pitchers when the games are being played. And if you go there when LSU's playing or the Saints in an NFL game, they score not a field goal, they score a touchdown, you get free Jello shots. That Cajun place on Thomas Drive. Go check it out. Tell them Coach sent you. All right, we'll be right back. You listen to the legendary 104.3 ESPN Northwest, the root of all evil right here. This is the reason politicians go to D.C. Take your money. They milk you like a cow till you have no milk left.
This just in. Get the latest sports news, scores, and updates from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Follow us on Facebook for exclusive content, behind-the-scenes action, live streams, and the chance to interact with your favorite hosts.
Stay connected. Stay connected. Stay connected.
Join the conversation on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Search for ESPN Northwest Florida and crush the follow button.
I follow you on social media.
We're always here to keep you in the game.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rate you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now. 800-708-3092. 800-708-3092. 800-708-3092. That's 800-708-3092.
He has a really low passenger rating on Uber. He punched a magician and started a petition to remove the penny from circulation.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael studio.
Is he sane? I have no idea.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Yeah. Oh, tell him, baby.
This is a man's way.
Don't forget it.
Well, God knows how to pull on our heartstrings.
Woo!
Preach it to him, Coach.
No, nothing.
Nothing. Without
It's a call waiting from you from Julie.
No. Tell you what, though, you know, when you get older, I had Tommy Sandoval tell me this a long time ago, and I didn't know what he was talking about. There's nothing like granddaughters. I mean, I got two of them.
You like them better than you do your children.
Oh my God, they're like they steal your heart.
Send them home when they misbehave.
You say that. That's true.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But I'd let them live with us.
Right.
Both of them. I just love them to death. They brighten my day every day. Now we got a grandson.
Yeah,
and he's I think he's about 6 months old now, 5 or 6 months old.
Nice.
And looking forward to that because that's special too, especially when he gets older. But them granddaughters are unbelievable.
Yeah.
They are something special. I want to say happy birthday to Jean. She had a birthday party last night. That is Laureline Layton's great-grandmother, a beautiful lady, and her twin sister. They had a birthday thing last night. And that's Eric Baker's mom, and just wonderful people. We had a great time last night with them. Garrison was there. Garrison played for me at Arnold. Yeah. Jared was there. We had a good time. Really
Nice.
good time, yeah. So happy birthday, Jean. If beautiful, sweet lady. I guarantee you
great
that.
family.
Yeah, no doubt. They truly are.
Well, that's part of you, too.
They never say that about me, but I always say it about them. No. I was talking about Tennessee.
Yeah.
I knew they were going to be pretty. I thought they would be pretty good. I don't know how good they really are, but I think they're really, really good. Are they a national championship caliber team? We'll know here in a couple weeks. I kind of think they might be. Let me go over this. Scoring offense, they average 54 points a game, which is number one in the country. Their defense, total defense, is number 1 in the country. Total defense allowed, 176 yards a game. Their third down defense is first in the country. Scoring defense is second in the nation. Rush defense is second in the country. Rush offense is third in the country. Total offense is third in the country. I screwed this thing up. Anyway, they're pretty doggone good.
I was going to say, they're just really, really good.
Their front seven is the big difference in them.
That was the big surprise this year because if you looked at Tennessee years in the past, under Heupel at least, their offense has always been phenomenal, but it's been the defense, especially the back end, where they just couldn't cover anybody. This year, especially in the Oklahoma game, they went tit for tat. That was a really good Oklahoma defense, but Tennessee's was equally as good, and it's that front seven. They're controlling the line of scrimmage. They're not letting anybody run the football on them, and if you can't have balance, especially in this day and age, it's really easy to stop teams.
I want to go back and look who they've played.
Yeah.
Okay, have they played anybody? Not really. Oklahoma's not as good. Their defense played outstanding against Tennessee. Oklahoma's not a bad team or the elite team. Absolutely not. They don't have a quarterback like Alabama has. Let's put it that way. That's going to be Tennessee's big challenge. Tennessee killed Chattanooga week 1, 69-3. They're explosive. Their quarterback's really good. I love what he does on offense. He spreads you across the field. Then they can run it. They can throw it. The quarterback can take it, tuck it, and run. They're explosive on offense. They can make big plays. And like we talked about, the defense is one of the best they've had in years. Then all the hype on NC State. We all kept hearing about all these seniors, all these people they had back at NC State.
The new quarterback, Grayson McCall.
Yeah, they destroyed them on ABC 51-10. That they made a believer out of me on that. Now, Clemson went in there and spanked NC State too. So NC State, I think, was overrated.
Yeah, definitely.
Kent State, okay, so what? 71-0 is Kent State, but still, the score 71, 69 points, 51 points. You're doing something pretty good.
56 or 51-0 at halftime, and that's not easy to do on anybody.
Yeah, I don't care who you're playing. They're explosive. Then they play Oklahoma, their first SEC game. The game day was there. It was a huge game for Oklahoma, and they kind of toyed with them. The score is closer than what the game was. Oklahoma was not a threat on the offense side of the ball.
No.
Defensively, Oklahoma played outstanding. Tennessee's defense was cut in half, 25 points. They gave up 15. Now I think we'll find a little bit more. Do they go in there and they completely blow out Arkansas? Then they're for real. I think Arkansas is going to give them a game. I don't think it's going to be a total blowout.
I don't think so either. I think Arkansas is a really good team as far as, at least offensively. That quarterback's hard to deal with, and he's dual threat. He's about 6'5". The kid can play. He came from Boise State, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this will be a really good test for that defense, and I think
Bobby Petrino is a great coach.
Yes,
I think.
for sure. I think that's why they're going to test him on defense. We're going to find out a lot more about Tennessee. Then they follow up next week with
Florida Gators.
And then Alabama. So we're going to find a lot out about Tennessee over the next 3 weeks.
And if you look at on paper, they should be undefeated when they go in and play Alabama.
Yeah.
Now, the week before Bama this week's got Vandy. Then they're going to have South Carolina, which is a really good defensive football team.
It
is in Tuscaloosa, 11 o'clock kickoff. Then the third week in October, Alabama, Tennessee. And I'm telling you, Tennessee, Alabama fans, you better watch out. I got a bad feeling about this game. This is not a good matchup. Our DBs versus their receivers and their offense. We're going to have to score a lot of points to beat them. I was
more worried before the Georgia game than I am after. Even though in the second half Georgia had some success, I do think Alabama wore down a little bit because of the emotions and everything in the first half, and I think they kind of changed their philosophy a little bit.
Yeah, 5 fourth down conversions when you're on the field. But, we're making excuses for them. They should have stopped them.
For sure. But, you're talking elite offense is going to beat elite defense in this day and age just because of the rules. And you got to give Georgia credit. I mean, they got a great quarterback.
Tennessee goes in this ball game undefeated and they beat Bama, they got a shot to really do something special, because after that, they got a tough Kentucky team, but they got more players Kentucky has, even though Kentucky's pretty good. Then it's Mississippi State, then the huge one at Georgia. Then they got Texas, El Paso.
Yeah, UTEP.
Then Vandy. Their schedule is set up really, really nice. I mean, it's Alabama. In my opinion, it's Alabama, Georgia. They get through those two. Hell, they might go undefeated.
You can pencil them in the playoffs, in my opinion, because even if they go 1-1 against Alabama, Georgia, they're going to be 11-1, maybe in the SEC championship game. So even if they're not, you're going to get 3 or 4 SEC teams in anyway. So I think
these tiebreakers is going to be crazy. We might see it this year, because I'm truly, if Georgia beats Texas and Texas doesn't lose another game, if Tennessee only loses to Georgia, they beat Alabama, and Georgia. No, they have to lose to Georgia. If Georgia beats Tennessee, and that's the only game they have lost.
Right.
Then you got everybody's, it's going to be Georgia's in there because they beat Tennessee, which beat Alabama. Then you go by head-to-head. Alabama didn't play Texas. So Georgia gets advantage because they played all 3 of them, and they're 2-1.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting what happens in the SEC. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to have more upsets than people believe. I don't think Bama goes undefeated whatsoever. They got a shot, but I don't think they have a great shot. They're going to struggle with Tennessee. Tennessee, I think, is for real. We'll find out as the season plays out. All right, let's talk about some of our outstanding, wonderful sponsors that we have here. I got one in the studio, Jason Kovaleski. Does a great job. Locals taking care of locals. What about Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Talk about it, Jason.
I was there yesterday for lunch, watching some TV, and got my brisket, got my new potatoes and cream corn. Took a little bit of jalapeno cheddar sausage to the house for later. So they got all kinds of great food down there. Their turkey's amazing, brisket's amazing. Their stuffed baked potato with brisket and barbecue sauce is amazing. If you don't want to stroke out.
Turkey.
Everything down there. Turkey. So, but they cater breakfast. Go down there and check them out. Really
Breakfast,
good atmosphere,
burritos.
but great food.
The atmosphere in the Lorelei, Layton, and Rebecca. You could have a football banquet. It's so big. But now we did have all kind of political groups there. I went to one of them back there. The superintendent did a great job when he spoke to the mothers of something. I forgot the name of the club now. But anyway, get out to Rudy's Barbecue. Tell them Coach, they do a great job. Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. Pat, I love Pat. He's probably one of the nicest, greatest guys I know. And he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And when you're in the people service and you serve people, he trains his staff to treat people like family, and they do. That's the reason people love going there. The food's incredible, but it's great people that work there, what makes it special. He's an unbelievable city commissioner, and even better at Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven, if you can be better. Don't forget about pizza. It is pizza season. Paparazzi Pizza on Thomas. Matter of fact, I might go there lunch today. You buy one lunch special, get 2 huge slices of pizza and a drink for $11 some change. Just take Jason with you in there and buy 2 drinks and get one special. You won't get any pizza from him.
I was going to say, you're going to get the crust.
Yeah, you might get something, but anyway. Hey, it's deadly. Skin cancer.
Yeah.
1 in 5 develop it. If it doesn't look right, feel right, don't put it off. 5 minutes can save your life. Dr. Ward's got offices throughout Northwest Florida. There's no excuse. Call, make an appointment. And you need to do it anyway. If everything looks good, and you're up there in age, you've been out in the sun, go get it checked out. He'll pick out something you might not find. 5 minutes can save your life. Go see Dr. Ward. You listen to him every Wednesday at 7:30, right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We get back. Let's talk a little bit about FSU. Big, huge game. Actually, kind of a disappointing. I thought it was going to be an unbelievable experience this week. Maybe it will.
Right.
We don't know. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Race to Talladega.
Paul, Richie, are you ready?
I am ready.
You're ready for some racing, some paint swapping.
Oh, yes. You're not revving, you're not racing.
You got that right, son. Congratulations. You won the Race to Talladega, bro.
Oh, hell yeah. I can mark that off my bucket list now.
Mission accomplished. 8 seconds on your qualifying time. That is sending you to Talladega.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, a chance of thunderstorms and some clouds, and a high of 87 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the southeast. For tonight, mostly clouds and a low near 76. Tomorrow, mixture of mostly clouds and light rain and a high around 83. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry and Coin and Bullion Reserves. Did you know that we do more than just sell some of the finest jewelry in town? We can engrave on your wedding band, locket, Yeti cup, or almost anything. Need your watch battery changed? We can do that too. Our expert will even evaluate your coin collection. And of course, we always pay top dollar for your old gold and silver jewelry. See, there's a lot more to Tracy's Fine Jewelry than a lot of pretty sparkly things. Come and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
If your neighbor, employer, or grandmother were traumatized by comments made on the Coach James Hale Show.
One thing people aren't saying a whole lot about, and I'll probably get in trouble,
but just wanted to take this moment to say, get bent. We're live from the J. Michael Studio, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! FSU update brought to you by Newbies. Get out to Newbies, have a great time. Newbies 2 on the Curve. Go watch all these college events. Head on down to the mothership, dance, sing, party, have a great time at the legendary Newbies. They got one over in St. Andrews, a brand new and beautiful blue facility. Go and have a good time. They're such wonderful people. John and Charlotte always giving back to the community. Let's make sure we support them. They do an incredible job. I want to say happy birthday to Johnny Petronas, Jimmy's baby boy.
Yeah.
I think it's his oldest son. I remember
Great
Katie
family.
and them, when he was a baby, those kids taking them everywhere. I see them out all over the town. But happy birthday, Johnny Petronas, 14 years old. Good Lord. I remember seeing him when he was a little baby.
I know.
Unbelievable, man. Time is flying by. It's kind of sad.
You get down there and eat.
I can't even remember being 14 years old.
I can't either. No.
Anyway, Florida State, Clemson, huge football game. We got a caller. Do we have an FSU fan? Yeah, I think we do. I think he loves the Seminoles. Good morning, Travis.
Good morning. I'm glad y'all know I love them.
Love to hate them, huh?
You're going to be happy this weekend, I think.
Well, I'm pretty sure I am. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be happy this weekend. I actually was going to call you earlier. I just said I was almost to work, and I know when I get on the phone with y'all, I cannot get myself off. So I heard y'all talking about Florida and UCF.
Yes.
Well, a guy that does podcasting is pretty up there. Like, it's him and Mark McLeod's about all I listen to. But he was asked last night, what do you think if he loses to UCF, does Billy Napier do the press conference? And he said yes, but I think it would be his last.
Yeah.
They would probably fire him.
I would not doubt that. Yeah.
I think he's already fired. Let's be honest. I don't think there's any way he retains his job. I mean, if he wins out, but that's impossible. They're not going to win out, especially with those last 5 games. It's just, who do they have on staff? And this is the problem with Billy Napier's staff. Who on there could be qualified as a head coach? I mean, even in the future. I mean, who could take over that program today and run a competent practice? Who can run a competent program? There's just nobody on staff. And I know they talk about Dan Enos, but I mean, are you confident that he could come in there and right the ship or even give these guys a better chance to win? There's no president over there. The AD might be fired on top of everything. That is just a total mess right now until they get somebody to kind of, have a vision, maybe hire the president officially or whatever they're going to do. I just don't know what they're going to do. I mean, week to week, I thought they were going to fire him after the bye week. I mean, I don't understand why he's still there.
What would you do, though? If they beat Central Florida, then they would upset Kentucky. They play well up there.
Right.
Even last 2 years ago, they played pretty good up there. And then beat Kentucky. Then what do you do? Then what does everybody say?
this might make the fans mad, but if you don't have a legitimate option as an interim coach, would you bring somebody in just to get beat down those last 5 games, or you let Napier just take it on the chin and be like, hey, we're going to part ways with you at the end of the year? Now, if you have a candidate out there right there,
you'll save money by doing that.
For sure. Not only that, but if you have a candidate out there that could take over the job, then that'd be different. But the candidates you're going to go after are going to be at the end of the season. They're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah. And who would do that? Okay, let's go take over. You know you're not going to win. No,
I mean, you could throw $15 million a year at Urban Meyer, maybe get him out of the booth. That's the only guy that's not with a job that he couldn't leave right now. The other coach is going to be coaching Gruden, but I don't think he's touchable.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that if I was them. I'd say no. We'll wait and do it at the end of the year.
Gruden has a lot of risk because you come from the NFL. When's the last time he coached college? You got to chase 18-year-old kids around and kiss their butt. That doesn't seem like his personality. So I'm very wary about hiring NFL guys that haven't coached in college for a long time, because that's a different ballgame altogether.
That's a good point. Go ahead, Travis.
Well, see, like I've heard, I believe on this radio a couple times, or on y'all's show a couple times, and everywhere else too, that the same thing. Well, who's confident enough to run the football schedule? Well, who's competent now? I mean, who, can Napier? Who's going to be worse? I mean, it doesn't matter. We could fire him right now, and we're probably still going to have the same outcome as we did if we kept him all year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it really matters. I really don't.
And if you fire him now, you can start looking for your candidate. You can really talk to him. If it's Lane Kiffin, you can have some private conversations. You can kind of try to keep the recruits in, instead of, hitting them with a bombshell at the end of the year that they probably already know. But at the same time, I heard this somewhere where they should, if they fired him now, they could probably try to keep these recruits and give them hope that, hey, we got better coming, don't worry.
This is what I heard. Okay, if we fired him now, the recruiting staff knows they're gone. They're going to quit working this hard. Right. Let's drag it out as long as we can. And then if he lucks up and wins some ball games, get it through the year, saves us money, we keep the recruits, then get somebody in quickly. Now, the way everything has changed, early signing periods and transfers and all that stuff, you got to hire somebody. You're going to have to fire them earlier, and you're going to have to hire them earlier. If not, you're going to be looking.
But who's going to leave their program that would be a legitimate candidate that you want to go after? In other words, winning
when they're getting ready to play in the
middle of a season. Right. It's just not going to happen. And that's why I think why the Napier still has a job.
Everything's changed in college football.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, also, oh shoot, I forgot what I said. What I was going to say.
Happens to me every day.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
When is Florida's next open date? You got it right. It's right there in front of
Before
Jason.
Georgia.
Before Georgia.
We always have a bye week before Georgia. Okay. Georgia and Florida always has a bye week.
Well, they have one before UCF, and then they play Tennessee at Tennessee, then Kentucky, then have an open week, and then play Georgia.
Yeah, look out for that time. That gives them, if they're going to do anything, that gives you about a month to get 3 weeks to a month to get your
But are you going to bring
plan.
an interim coach in to play Georgia at Texas, LSU, Ole Miss at FSU?
That might be the best thing for Billy. He didn't have to go through that.
Well, you want to make him go through that for everything he's done so far.
He better win the next 3 games.
A lot of people are saying, well, Lagway's going to leave and Wilson's going to leave if Billy leaves. Well, here's the thing that I say to that. One, if they don't want to stay for the program, then they, if we get a good enough coach in, we can bring somebody else, and that's just as good. I mean, I know Lagway is great, but I mean, it's not impossible to get somebody that can handle the program.
You can't run a program.
Secondly,
you can't run a program like that.
No.
You got to make a change. You got to make it. You can't worry about what could have, should have.
There's always going to be talent. If you hire the right guy, he's going to bring talent in.
Right.
And it may not be Lagway, but there's going to be 5-star quarterbacks next year, and there's going to be portal guys next year. Bring in the right coach, and he'll bring in the right people.
Yeah. Secondly, if Lagway and Wilson don't hit the transfer portal because of the coach, I'll tell you what they're going to hit the transfer portal because of losing.
Right.
They're too good to lose. Lagway is sitting on the bench watching his team get blown out by Miami 41-19, watching Texas A&M blow them out. He's not going to like that because he is a talent that wants to be on a winning team. Regardless of the program or the coach, him and Wilson can say whatever they want to, but what's going to make them transfer is not getting wins, not see, because that ultimately affects their future in the NFL.
Right. Travis, we got to take a break. We got Alabama coming back. We'll get back. And thank you, Travis, for the FSU update. That was good.
Yes, sir.
That was one of the better ones we've had.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Thank you, Travis.
Those in shambles. So there's your FSU update.
Yeah.
Thank you, Travis. Bye, buddy. Turf Pro Pest Control. You want that yard to look absolutely gorgeous? Call Patrick. They'll come out. They'll survey everything. They'll come up with a game plan. They'll execute it. Touchdown. It will look absolutely beautiful. It'll look like a golf course. They do a great job. Listen to Patrick every Monday right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, 8:30 to 9 o'clock right here every Monday. He does a great job. Turf Pro Pest Control, #1. We'll talk about FSU a bit later today. Love newbies. Get newbies. Have a great time. Taco Bell, Rutherford Rams. Get out to Callaway's Taco Bell. They support you guys big time. Port St. Joe Tiger Sharks brought to you by Taco Bell. They DoorDash down there. All you people in Port St. Joe, go visit the brand new Taco Bell down there. They support your athletes. Make sure you support Taco Bell. 3 great locations in Panama City Beach. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Taco Bell. Great folks down there.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We get back Alabama Crimson Tide. Then the voice of the Auburn Tigers, Andy Burcham, 8:15 Auburn. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, home of the Atlanta Braves.
ESPN Northwest Florida is your touchdown headquarters for the Mosley Dolphins and the Auburn Tigers.
Touchdown, Auburn!
Plus, premier college and NFL games.
Touchdown! Incredible!
Your source for the most live football on the Gulf Coast in a rich audio experience.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, a chance of thunderstorms and some clouds and a high of 87 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the southeast. For tonight, mostly clouds and a low near 76. Tomorrow, mixture of mostly clouds and light rain and a high around 83. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. See Mid-South Lumber for all of your DIY projects, including windows, doors, siding, lumber, and millwork. Are you building a new home? Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, and doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. 717 West 11th Street.
PLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Uh-huh.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Put down your natural light. It's time for the Alabama Update. The Alabama Update, weekday mornings at 8. On the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Roll Tide. Roll. Roll, Bama. Go, Bama. Alabama Updates brought to you by Stevenson Air Conditioning. They're there for you anytime, day or night. Stevenson Air Conditioning, locals taking care of locals throughout Northwest Florida. If you have any problem, you make sure you call Stevenson Air Conditioning. You need to get your heating and cooling system serviced about every 6 months. It runs better. It saves you money with your power bill. It will last longer. If you have an old one, I'm talking about real old one like I did, you got to get rid of it. All you're doing is wasting money on your power bills. Not just getting cold. All it's doing is running and running and running. You know what I'm talking about. Call Stevenson Air Conditioning. Jason will come out and his crew. They'll measure everything out. They'll tell you exactly what you need to do. They'll give you some options. They'll work with you. They are the most honest people I've ever dealt with. They do an incredible job. Incredible. I can't say enough good things about them. They're unbelievable. Dr. Chad Mitchell, Jason, heck, I can't even now. All the guys have got new units from him.
Oh, absolutely.
The guy's incredible. Yeah. Stevenson Air Conditioning, number one, not even close. Throughout Northwest Florida, it is Stevenson Air Conditioning. Alabama 4-0 versus number 2, 2-2 Vandy. Vandy's got a pretty good defense. Vandy's got a really good quarterback. This is not the Vandy of the old. Vandy's got plenty of money. If they really made a decision, we're going to be good in football, we're going to do whatever it takes, they could spend enough money on NIL. They could probably outspend just about anybody if they choose to do so. Right. They got plenty of money there. The facilities are getting better. Right now, the stadium's pretty small because they're doing all the construction that's going on. There will be a lot of Bama people on the road up in Nashville this weekend for the ball game. Talking about quarterback play, CBS Power Rankings for quarterbacks. We have a new one right now. Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe is the number one quarterback in the nation, and as far as the CBS is concerned, in power rankings, they're number one quarterback in the country. Huge performance against Georgia. He passed for 374 yards. He rushed for 117 yards, 4 touchdowns. No question. There's no question his passing is improved under the new coaching staff at the University of Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
He was always a pretty good deep ball.
Right.
Actually, he was a good deep ball passer. Now he's starting to hit the middle range guys, the short passes, the backs out of the backfield. He's doing a pretty good job.
No, he's dissecting the offense. We talked about this. If he can get that intermediate passing game down, because the deep ball was there, the athletic ability, running ability was there, and now he's becoming a more complete quarterback. And to me, he's the best quarterback in the country right now today.
Well, let's see if he continues to improve.
For sure.
Then they have a great. What's so great about why he's right now leading the Heisman, why he's performed and getting all this love, is because over 14 million people watched the game.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody's talking about it. Not only that game helped him, it also helped a couple other Bama players for his recognition for his National Player of the Week, Freshman of the Week, and all that kind of stuff, and help him make All-American teams. But what it really did, it helped him in recruiting. Bama had, you would not believe the players that were at the game. Some just wanted to see the game, that already committed to the 4 and 5 stars, already committed to other big-time programs, but they wanted to come there. Bama's trying to flip them. They wanted to see the game. Some of them are not going to flip.
Right.
Some of them might. But there's like this one kid out of Las Vegas, Jeff Washington, 4-star safety in the class of 2026. This kid's 6'4", 185, considered one of the best players in the country. He went on about Alabama. He says it was unbelievable. He said Alabama is elite. The atmosphere, I've never seen anything like it. The president of the United States was at the game. The former president, the future president, politicians, superstars, Kid Rock, you name it. And it was electric. It was an unbelievable atmosphere there.
Unbelievable.
And they didn't show the flyover. They had all these jets fly over before the game, and they took advantage of that recruiting.
But you could feel the intensity just watching the game.
On TV,
I mean, it was incredible. I mean, those kids played hard. I mean, they went after it. It was, the atmosphere was electric. The crowd was electric. After the Ryan Williams score, I mean, that was an amazing, like,
right at the end of the game.
The crowd exploded because the range of emotions. You looked on the sideline after Georgia and looked in the stands. You see girls crying and like, oh my God, what just happened?
That was me.
And then, like, less than 3 minutes later, the entire place just blew up. And
Georgia players are going crazy.
Yeah.
But going back to FSU, Florida, you think you're seeing that kind of atmosphere when you go to Tallahassee right now? But fans leaving early, people upset, that hurts you in recruiting. Regardless if they're winning or losing, you need to show up. You need to make it electric as best you can. The negative situation you're dealing with, try to turn it into something positive. That setback, try to turn it into a comeback. Because if you don't, these kids are visiting, the players that everybody wants are visiting Alabama. They're visiting Ohio State. They're visiting Georgia. And you got to get them on your campus. You got to get them to visit, but you got to give them something they're going to talk about.
Right.
They're talking about the Georgia-Alabama game. They talk about going to Columbus. They talk about going to Athens, Baton Rouge, and Austin, Texas. I mean, the teams that recruit well have great products to sell.
For sure. Yeah.
And that the fans are a part of it. Saban used to always talk about that. That was a big night for Alabama. But it's over. It's done. They got rat poison signs all over the facility right now. Taking it from Saban, what he used to do.
Oh, yeah.
They got rat trap pictures in the locker room. They're doing all kinds of stuff to let the kids get the message. This game is over and done with. We got to get ready for Vandy. And I don't care what anybody says. You can lose a game. Anytime you walk on the field, you can lose to anybody. You can beat anybody. You better be ready to play. This Georgia team is, this LSU, this Vandy team, I'll get it right in a minute. This Vandy team's better than what people believe.
They have Missouri on the ropes. They
did.
Could have won that game easily. They went over overtime.
The quarterback can play now.
They can play. I mean, they beat Virginia Tech early in the year. People picked Virginia Tech to win the ACC this year.
Now, I'm thinking, watching Vandy's secondary, if it's me, I think I'd put it up there a lot.
Oh, yeah.
They're
the way
secondary.
Alabama's offensive line's playing, I think they're a different animal right now, especially running
we
the
got
football.
We got the two kids back.
Right.
I mean, they're NFL players. And
the running backs are NFL players. I mean, you got Milroe now as a weapon in the intermediate passing game, so he can lean on that run game a little bit more, knowing he can get first downs when he need them.
Jason, I want to talk about this. This is some of Alabama's great games. We saw one against Georgia, almost the last play of the game, hitting Williams for the touchdown. Big, huge plays. Here's some of the other ones. 2018, Alabama versus Georgia. Georgia's winning the football game. Then Bama ties it up. They put Jalen Hurts back in the game. And what a comeback he led Alabama. He scores on a 15-yard run, and Alabama beats Georgia and breaks their heart again, 35-28. That was one we'll never forget.
Yeah.
2013, Alabama at Auburn, 4th and 31, 4th and goal. What did Alabama do? The gravedigger, 31-yard touchdown pass with 43 seconds left in the game, and Milroe to Bonds, touchdown, Alabama 24, Auburn 20. That was a year ago. I mean, Bama's had these type plays, these great athletes.
National championship game.
And then this one last week, 2024, Alabama 34-33. They hit Williams for a 75-yard touchdown pass with 2 minutes and 31 seconds left in the game. 2018 national championship game, overtime versus Georgia. We have cut Georgia's heart out.
30-27 or something after a big sack.
Yeah, 2nd and 26. Yeah, what happens? Two freshmen, Devontae Smith, 41-yard touchdown pass from Tula. Alabama wins the national championship. It's not over till it's over.
No.
Oh, we got a caller? Let's take, you know what? I don't take calls during Alabama Update.
I know that, but this is a special.
If it's LSU Jeff, I might.
This is a tradition. This is a tradition. I got to break up the Alabama Update.
Thank you.
we got an LSU Tiger calling in here, interrupting. Okay. What are you doing, LSU Jeff?
Well, I'm called up to talk about Bama doesn't bring Georgia hearts. They bring Tennessee hearts, Auburn hearts, LSU hearts, Ole Miss hearts. They break everybody's heart.
Remember that little screen play at the end of the game versus LSU? McCarron hits Yelding, and a little screen pass takes us to the house, score, touchdown. LSU thought they had the game won.
Remember that kick six?
Oh, yeah. There's little
turn his mic off. How dare him?
Touche, Jason.
Auburn, how many times have we seen Auburn have the game won, though?
Yeah.
And then Bama pulls it out somehow, and it just breaks their hearts. I mean, just to watch the dejected fans and the crowd is just unreal. I mean, it's really sad.
Did you watch the game last week, Georgia, Alabama?
I watched pieces of it.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
And to be honest with you, I thought it was over with, and then Georgia scored 3 times in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And I said, wait a minute, they're winning? I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Yeah, it was a great football game. It really was. I have a lot of respect for Kirby Smart. I love Kirby. But those players that play that hard when you're down, most other teams, 90% of the other teams in college football, when you're down 30-7 to Alabama, at Alabama, they don't believe they can win. It wouldn't happen.
Right.
We've seen Florida up in Kentucky play Kentucky and quit.
Oh, yeah.
You see it all the time. Georgia's just... They're different, man. They never quit.
So Florida State,
there's a way they're trained. It's the way they're coached.
Oh yeah, Kirby's a great coach, and they respect him. That's why they play hard for him.
No doubt. What about you, LSU Tigers? Is kind of quietly getting better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we got Ole Miss in 2 weeks? Well, actually, a week and a half, more like, and then we got Bama later on. I mean, that's our two big opponents, but the SEC is just going to be beating each other up left and right. Because
I think so,
too.
Too.
Look at Tennessee. I mean, what do you rank? Number 3, I guess?
Yeah.
Are they 3 or 4, whatever it is. They got Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah. One at home and one on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, Bama's in Knoxville, and then the Georgia game's in Athens. So
They win those. Wait a minute. They win those two? Man, they're undefeated. There's nobody else on that schedule.
They're not winning those two.
If they do.
Oh no! I'll put money against that. Let me tell you something.
I'm worried sick about them. They scare me.
The kid Nico, everybody talks about him. I see a prototype size. He's tall and everything, but they're playing conservative ball against Oklahoma. You can't play conservative ball and beat Bama or Georgia. You're going to have to put it out there and you have to sling it. And this kid is not tested yet, in my opinion, because NC State was not the test. So they're going to go up against these good teams. They're going to lose both those games, and they're not going to end up at SEC championship. And then you're back to what? Texas, Georgia, and Alabama. It's those three. There's the only 3 schools that can go to SEC championship.
Well, now, wait a minute. Now, your Tigers, I don't think they've lost the SEC game yet, have they?
Yeah, we just lost to USC, right? Yeah, we just lost to USC. Now, I said we were going to go 9-3, and I'm sticking to it, but that says you got to beat Texas A&M and Oklahoma. Yeah, and that's not easy.
And Ole Miss now, we'll know more about them this week.
Yeah, they got
South Carolina. Hey, listen, Jeff, I hate to do it. We got to go. We got Andy Birch and the voice of Auburn Tigers up next, but call us back later if you can.
Yep.
Good talking to you, buddy. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it. LSU Jeff, during the Alabama update. We'll take it.
They are getting better, though. Their defense is playing a lot better, and, of course...
Quarterback's pretty good.
He is good.
That freshman running back is doing a great job for LSU also.
Yeah.
All right, Alabama Update has been brought to you by Stevenson Air Conditioning. J. Michael's Restaurant, the best seafood, the coldest beer, the legendary J. Michael's. For all real estate closing, it's Chuck Tucker, baby. He does an incredible job. The name of his company is South Oak Title and Closing. South Oak Title and Closing. Don't forget that. That's who you go with. They do an incredible job. Just like El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, the best happy hour anywhere, and tonight karaoke night will be packed out. Great place to have a birthday party. Buy one and get one free. Lunch specials Monday through Friday. NFL ticket. Get in there and have a great time. Find out their pictures when the games are being played. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. The legendary Dr. Chad Mitchell, been on the sidelines for 25 years. He's been taking care of Bay County athletes. Bay County School Board, remember that, 25 years, Chad Mitchell, the legendary doctor, every Monday right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rudy's Barbecue on Back Beach Road. They cater breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Jason Kovalevsky loves them, so you know it's good. It's really, really good. Pat, love you, brother. We'll be right back. 104.3. Hopefully, Andy Burcham, the voice of the Auburn Tigers. Huge football game. Auburn at Georgia.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your home for the NFL.
Touchdown, Denver!
We bring you the biggest games every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night.
Oh, he's got the first down!
Plus, we'll broadcast more college football games than ever before.
He did what?
Live NFL and college football play here.
Unbelievable!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, a chance of thunderstorms and some clouds and a high of 87 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the southeast. For tonight, mostly clouds and a low near 76. Tomorrow, mixture of mostly clouds and light rain and a high around 83. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Visit the newly remodeled Mid-South Lumber Hardware and Feed Store in Youngstown. They have a full line of plumbing, electrical, hardware, and tools for your DIY home projects, as well as lumber and animal feed. Now offering not only baby chicks and a full line of poultry supplies, but also bunnies and parakeets. They also carry a wide selection of Duplin wines and gourmet products so you don't have to drive to the beach. Come see us at Mid-South Lumber on Highway 231 in Youngstown.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
When he played football, helmets had not been invented yet. Players played both sides, and quarterbacks weren't afraid of needles. It's the Coach James Hale Show, live from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And now, War Eagle. Live from the J. Michael Studio, it's the Auburn Update and the Coach James Hale Show with the voice of the Auburn Tigers, Andy Burcham. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Eagle! Hey, Martha, Kenny, James, Jenna. All you Auburn fans throughout Northwest Florida, War Eagle, man. Auburn. 128th meeting, the oldest rivalry in the South. Auburn at Georgia. Georgia leads 64-56-8. Kirby Smart 8-1 versus Auburn. 2:30 ABC. Turn the volume down. Leave it on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Listen to one of the best. Listen to the legendary Andy Burcham. And we have him on right now. Good morning, sir.
James, good morning. I hope you're well.
We are doing well. We lucked up with the storm, and God bless those people in parts of Florida,
Lord.
Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia. Andy, have you ever seen anything like that in your life?
No, it's tragic to see what has happened in those areas, especially in the mountains. Your heart goes out. Heart goes out to these folks that are really, really struggling after devastating floods and that type of thing. So
it's sad, man.
We were blessed. We were fortunate here. I mean, we had a lot of rain, but nothing as severe as what we thought it might be here in Auburn.
No doubt. God bless us. And anyway, out there, and then later today, I'm going to give out some more information what we can do to help out. Andy, I tell you, man, I kind of got negative last week. I thought at the end of the game, you're up by 11. I questioned some of the play calling. We got one of the best running backs in the country. And anyway, I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to focus on a 2-3 Auburn team that very easily could be 5-0, getting on the road to play Georgia, which played an unbelievable second half against Alabama. Auburn, first road game, not only they got Georgia on the road, they got number 1 Alabama, number 5 Georgia, number 9 Missouri, number 25 Texas A&M. I mean, it's starting to get tough now. But I truly believe, watching Auburn play, if they put together a 60-minute ball game where they don't beat themselves, they don't get the penalties, they don't turn the ball over, I think they can play with just about anybody. Am I crazy, or does Auburn got a shot this week against Georgia?
No, I don't think you're crazy. Auburn has to play extraordinarily well. It cannot shoot itself in the foot as it has done in its 3 losses this season. It's got to be smart in the way it goes about this game this week. But no, I don't think you're crazy. It's a really good Georgia ball club. They're very, very good defensively. Carson Beck, threw for 439 yards last week against Alabama, and he had to. When you're down that big at halftime, you change your offensive game plan, and they did nothing but throw the football in the second half. And it was 4 downs every time they had the ball in the second half, and came back and actually took the lead and ended up losing to a really good Alabama team. So this will be just the second home game that Georgia has played this season. And as we know, it's Auburn's first road game. So how does a team that is relying more and more on youngsters as each week goes on, talented youngsters, how does it respond to that first road game in front of almost 100,000 in Athens, Georgia? That's a big question mark for me. How does this team respond to its first road game, and doing it in a place where Auburn hasn't won since 2005?
Wow. I didn't really...
Yeah, let that sink in a little bit.
Golly.
It's 19
It doesn't
years.
seem like that. Dang. That shocked me.
He's speechless.
Yeah, I was like, dang, I didn't realize that. Kurt, I'm going to say this, though. Speaking on Georgia, Kirby's done a good job. I've been watching every day something, reading up on Georgia, how they're preparing for this ball game. He talked about the history of this game. He played in this game, how big this game is, the oldest rivalry. And I don't know if he's doing that to make sure his kids don't look at the record. I've gone against Hugh Freeze. I know what job he can do. I know how good Auburn can be. And he said the same thing you did. They shot themselves in the foot some this year. But talk about you. What's the biggest matchup for you? You've watched Georgia somewhat. You know what Auburn's good at. We know what the mistakes have been. What do you think we got to do to win the game?
Well, my biggest concern going into this game, and it is even heightened even more after watching what Carson Beck did last week in the loss to Alabama, is this. Auburn starts 2 sophomores at corners and backs them up with 2 freshmen.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And Carson Beck threw for 439 yards last week. 3 touchdowns. He did have 3 interceptions. And that's a very talented wide receiving core that he throws to. That's my biggest concern. How does that relatively young cornerback crew for Auburn, how does it respond this week against a really good passing offense?
Yeah.
Listen, if you just look at numbers right now, Georgia hasn't run the ball all that well. They're 14th in the SEC in rushing at just under 130 yards per game. They're 4th in the league in passing at over 302 yards per game. And we know what Carson Beck did last week on the road at Alabama. So how much do we see that this week against a young Auburn secondary? Or do we see them try to go back to the run game and go to Trevor Etienne, who only has 36 carries for 212 yards and a touchdown this season? Georgia's a little bit banged up. They're without their starting right guard. They're without one of their wide receivers. They're without a starting linebacker. But Oklahoma was without its top 5 receivers last week, and that didn't seem to bother them too much. So, to me, the matchup to me, and I'm sure there will be others that we will see in this game, but the matchup to me is the passing game for Georgia against Auburn's young secondary, especially at corner.
Yeah. And in the second half, he had all day to throw the ball. Alabama didn't put much pressure on him. I think Auburn's got to get to him. They got to make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, and Georgia's only given up 5 sacks a game. They're 4th in the league at protecting their quarterback.
Yeah.
And for Auburn to be successful against the pass, they've got to find some ways to put pressure on the quarterback. And that is one of the strengths of this Georgia ball club.
Yeah. Andy, what about the kicking game? Field goals, what do they do?
I think Alex McPherson is close to getting back. He continues to kick in practice. He has dressed out for the last 2 games. I think the biggest concern for Alex right now is leg strength at this point. But, Towns McCoo missed two relatively short field goal attempts at the end of the first half last week, and then missed a 51-yarder later in the ball game. I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see McPherson at in some capacity this week. It has not been announced that he is back. He is cleared to play. If he does come back, I wouldn't be surprised if Magoo doesn't continue to kick off, because he's been very, very good at that. That's kind of a wait and see at this point, guys. But I would not be shocked if we don't see Alex McPherson kick this weekend for Auburn.
I tell you, I talked about it after the game. We talked about it Monday. If Auburn would have gave Oklahoma the ball down to 10 on the 10-yard line, I don't think they score. But the pick six.
Listen. Coach Hugh Freeze has talked about he has some regrets, and I think the biggest regret he has in that game is not giving the ball to Jarquez Hunter on 4th and 1 in the first half when Auburn did not score.
Yeah.
And not giving him the ball late.
Yes.
Or in the third and the fourth quarter when you're trying to run some clock at that point. And if you don't make it, all right, then you punt it, you pin them.
Right.
I think those are regrets that the head coach has. And I wouldn't be at all surprised that if Auburn is in that situation moving forward, that we don't see number 27 with the ball in his hands at that point.
Yeah, he's the best running back nobody knows about.
Yeah.
I mean, he can play. God, hey, Andy, our time is running up. Thank you so much for coming. Hey, when are you going up there? When do y'all leave? Y'all leaving Saturday morning or Friday night?
Yeah, no. We're heading tomorrow afternoon about noon. Heading out of here about noon and getting ready to head to Athens, baby.
All right, buddy. You be safe and good luck, and go get you a win.
My pleasure, guys. Have a great day. War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Andy Burcham. You can listen to him right here on ESPN Northwest Florida, the home of the Auburn Tigers.
I think they're catching Georgia at the right time. I mean, a big emotional game against Alabama. Can you get up twice in a row for that type of battle?
How much Georgia respect Auburn?
Right.
They see those 3 losses.
Hugh, lean on that running game. Take the football out of Peyton Thorne's hands. Let the running back make some plays and see where it lands, because, we know Peyton Thorne can make some plays, but it's the mistakes that's really killing him late in games. So let's lean on the running game, man. All
right, we'll be right back. You listen to 104.3 ESPN. If I want some jewelry, where can I go? I want the best. I want somebody who can design. If I want something I want, they can make it happen.
I'm going to make this real easy on you. And all you got to do is go to David Adamson Designer Jewelry. Tell them what you've got in your head or on
tell Russ, tell Amber,
or something like that. Because they've got, between the two of them, like 49 years of experience in jewelry design, repair. So all you got to do is go to David Adamson Designer Jewelry in Lynn Haven, or give them a call at 624-1681, 25 to 75% off everything in the store.
I love those people. Wonderful people.
They're cool.
Great facility down there. They don't mail it off and it's gone for a month or two. They do it right there in-house. They're incredible. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Head on to Beef O'Brady's. Have a great lunch today. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to go under the lights? Mosley Dolphin football is back. ESPN Northwest Florida brings you live play-by-play coverage all season long with David Hayes.
Touchdown, Mosley Dolphins!
And Kyle Wright.
And the interception turns into points for the Mosley offense.
The Mosley Dolphins take on rivals Niceville, Rutherford, and the Bay Tornadoes. Exclusively on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hewitt Tire and Auto. Call 850-769-7323. Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing. Visit them online at HewittTire.com. On Airport Road in Panama City. 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Need a tow? Call Billy at Hometown Towing, 850-265-1562.
People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rates you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now. 800-708-3092. 800-708-3092. 800-708-3092. That's 800-708-3092.
Now back to the most dangerous radio show in the Gulf Coast. Coach James Hale. He's so dangerous, he doesn't even check his eggs at the grocery store.
Danger's my middle name.
I'm bad to the bone, honey.
2 tickets to the gun show.
We're live from the J. Michaels studio on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Andy Burton, we were talking about all the devastation in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia from this hurricane, and we were trying to help people out. What's one thing they can do?
We did a little research, like you said we would do yesterday on the show, and we found out. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Glenn Beck. He was used to be on Fox. He's a great guy, religious guy. He informed us that there's a charity that you can give to, and you can find him on Mercury One. That's a part of his network, the Blaze Network. So go to blaze.net and look up Mercury One, and then just follow all the prompts to give to the charity, and check that out. And the money will get to the people that need it, and the supplies will get to the people that need it, and we can trust that guy to do the job right.
And we're talking about true American. This is American people that lost their homes, lost everything they've worked for. We don't know how many have died yet in these floods in North Carolina or anything like that. And it makes me sick. It
was like 160.
This makes me sick. I'm gonna vent for a minute, okay?
Okay.
And if you get mad at me, get mad at me. FEMA spent $940 million on illegals. $940 million of your taxpayer money to pay to people that are illegally in our country here to vote for a party. That's BS, man. Our people hurt. Now they're saying they don't have much money. They spend $940 million on people who don't have anything to do with our country. And we got American people suffering right now, and you don't have money for your people.
We sent another $8 billion to Ukraine too, so that's another.
Well, they spent $7.5 billion on these EV charging stations. They built 7 yet. Let's take some of that money and go help American people. Unbelievable, man. They passed $1.2 trillion for this infrastructure stuff. Let's use that money, which they haven't done anything.
No.
Let's use that money to go help our American people that are suffering right now.
Pretty obvious they're stealing the money at this point.
It makes me sick.
That's why nothing ever gets done.
Anyway.
Clean our roads.
Unbelievable.
Well, your face.
Anyway, if you guys can help out these people that are hurting right now, please give. If it's $5, $10, whatever, let's try to help our true Americans.
Blaze Network, and then go to Mercury One, and you will find all the prompts you need to donate, and be sure that the money is going to get there.
College football season this year is we're getting at week 6 right now.
Yeah.
So you think it's halfway over? Wrong. We have not 1 but 2 weeks of open weeks. So if college football, when it starts, not week 0, but week 1, you have 14 weeks of college football, which is great.
Yeah.
We get to enjoy it 2 more weeks than normal, or at least 1 more week than normal. 14. Well, they came up with, I think it was, I don't know, I apologize, I didn't write it down. This is what they think is going to happen. These are projected to be the conference championships games. There's your games that are going to happen. In the ACC, they're predicting it will be Clemson versus Miami. Let me go through and we'll come back and break them down.
Yeah.
The Big Ten, they're going to be a rematch. It's going to be Ohio State Buckeyes versus Oregon. I think that could happen.
Yeah.
The Big 12, Iowa State will play BYU.
Yawn.
In the SEC, yeah, really. The SEC, it will be Texas versus Alabama. They don't play each other during the regular seasons. That would be a big draw. And then in the AAC, you have Tulane versus Navy. Miami has a big game versus top 25 team Louisville. Clemson, they still got to get through Louisville and Pitt also. So there's some roadblocks for both these teams. You got to play FSU this week. Clemson does. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Yeah.
Ohio State, they're at Oregon. They're going to play each other coming up pretty soon. Keep an eye out on Penn State.
Yeah. They could be the sleeper in this because they play really well on offense. They got a really good defense, too. They got some NFL players.
He's going to screw one game up.
We just got to worry about Franklin and what he's going to do in a game here or there, run for it on 4th and 8 with his quarterback or something crazy. But they are a very talented team, and I think they're a little bit better on offense. They have a little bit better quarterback this year. Aller's in his, I think, junior or senior year. So they got some experience, and they've always played Ohio State tough.
Out of those three of the Big Ten, there's anybody else out there that could surprise us? Michigan State's not going to do it.
No, and Michigan just doesn't have the offense. I mean, they beat USC, but, when you talk about, playing Ohio State or Oregon, you got to be balanced. You got to be able to score, and I just don't see them being able to do that this year.
But we could see some upsets throughout
definitely.
the year, so we'll see. Oklahoma, not Oklahoma. Texas has Oklahoma this week, which is a huge game. They lost to them last year when nobody saw that coming. I don't think they'd lose to them this year. I don't think the quarterback at Oklahoma, he's a true freshman, played really well against Auburn Forest running the ball. He did hit one long pass, but I think it's a stretch for them to beat Texas. But you never know. In a rival game, anything can happen. They got Georgia at home in a huge football game. They get through that one the way their schedule sets up. They get through those two games, they're there.
Oh, yeah.
They're there.
If they get through Georgia, they're definitely there.
If you're Alabama, don't get too cocky. You got Tennessee at Tennessee. We know what it's like to play Tennessee there at night. That's one of the loudest stadiums in college football. Their defense is really good. They can put pressure on Milroe. That's going to be a really good football game, but they got to get through Tennessee. Then at LSU, they're before the Iron Bowl. They're at Oklahoma. So there's no guarantee any of this stuff's going to happen. But if all four of them right now, let's just for argument's sake, 4 or 5 of these conferences, give me who you think the champ is. We got a caller? Let's say this call real quick. Good morning.
Hey, morning, Coach. Morning, Jason. Hey, it's Mike McMullen. How you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, big guy?
Hey, not much. Hey, I had a football question for you for the end of the season. You guys have touched on this and probably have talked about it, but with the SEC and the Big Ten not having divisions anymore, East, West, whatever, if you get 1 and 2 playing in the SEC or Big Ten championship, let's just say one of them gets blown out. Are they automatically out of the playoff and like the number 3 team, say Penn State?
That's a good question. Are you going to penalize a team for playing an extra ball game with this committee?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say not, but I don't know who the committee is. I don't know what their thought process is. We'll get an idea, I guess, when they start giving their opinion. That's the reason the SEC and Big Ten are meeting right now.
Yeah.
They're going to go change some things up. And you know what? Everybody else in the country going to be mad, but they got the power. They got the TV networks. They're going to get what they want.
I would say
I would think that at the end of the season, everybody's played all the games. I really wouldn't care what happened in the Big Ten championship or the SEC. Absence of you getting beat 72-0.
Right.
I'm like, those are the 2 teams coming out of that conference. And if you're going to pick a third, maybe it's the team that lost to both of them. I don't know. I was just curious.
That's a great question. Let me ask you this. If you're Ohio State and you got some guys sore, beat, not really, they could play, they could go, they're questionable, and you're undefeated, you're in, and you get ready to play a team, do you set them? Do you rest them and get ready for the playoffs because you're in?
Well, I don't know, because it may cost you a bye or a home game. You know what I mean?
Well, it will definitely it cost you a bye because they're going to give the conference champ a bye. That's what I don't like. You're going to give a weak conference a bye, but you're going to penalize a real strong conference with one loss.
Well, I would say there's 4 teams, Texas, Ohio State, Bama, and Georgia, that could probably afford to rest those guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
Their second going to be better than 95% of the rest of the country's first. And so I get what you're saying, but I also worry about injuries. Like, say we know, like last year, Michigan playing Iowa. Yeah, it was 26-0, but Iowa they're like Michigan this year or last year, and they got no offense. You knew they weren't going to score, so I just worry about guys getting hurt permanently. You know,
I hear you. In the Big Ten and SEC.
Yeah, it's football. So
I think the Big Ten, SEC, I think both teams in the conference championship game are going to get in. I mean, unless there's some weird injury, like a quarterback, like Florida State happened last year with Jordan Travis going down. But those teams have already proven themselves over the year. And it's not like, last year when they had divisions, when you had a weak division on this side and you had a strong division on this side, so you got a weaker team in. We're picking the top two teams in the conference that had the best season. So I think both those teams in those two conferences are in. ACC and the Big 12 aren't as deep, so you can make an argument if one of them teams got blown out, maybe they wouldn't make it. But unless an injury happens in the Big 10 or SEC, I think both those teams would get in.
Well, what about this? What about they announced the top 12 teams before the Big 10 and SEC championships? You already know the result.
Right.
You're just playing for the title.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
that's a good question. Will, I don't think you can keep, if Iowa State and Oregon play and they only got one loss, if both of them only have one loss, you got to have both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, other thing, with Mosley's win, I believe Niceville and Mosley are hitting it off on the 11th at Tommy Oliver. They're both undefeated.
Yes.
And they've both been going at it for the last few years. That should be one heck of a high school football game. So.
Not this Friday, a week from Friday. We got to pack that place out. We have got to pack it out.
Well, that'll be a good one. And so if you ever want to go see elite high school football, there you go.
Yep.
You got to come. Hey, come see us sometime. Come in here and visit with us sometime.
All right, I'll do it.
All right, bro. You take care. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, have a go, man.
All right, we'll be right back. Let's talk about some of our great people. Turf Pro Pest Control. Give Patrick a call. They'll come out. Their yard look absolutely gorgeous. It's like a golf course. Listen to Patrick every Monday, 8:30, right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Again, I can't say enough good things about our great jewelry store over there in Lynn Haven.
Especially right
Russ
now.
Does such a good. You think Russ is happy so far in the NFL? He's an NFL guy.
Yeah.
49ers.
He didn't have his expectations too awful high, but him and Amber Anderson, they're just doing a fine job out there. And right now, that 25 to 75% off sale, just in time for jingle bells and stuff like that. David Adamson Designer Jewelry.
And also, Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. You want a great meal? You want to have a great time? TV's everywhere, but it's the way they treat you. You walk in, they always got a smile on their face. They treat you like family. The food's incredible. Pat, love you, brother. You do a great job. One of the best city commissioners Lynn Haven's ever had. Pat Perno, Beef O'Brady's Lynn Haven. Go check it out. You'll love it. I guarantee that. Go watch the games this weekend. If you're over in Lynn Haven, get a Beef O'Brady's. All you Mosley fans, you're off this week. Friday night, go have a meal there. Have a little pep rally down there for the Mosley Dolphins. They do a great job. Paparazzi Pizza. You love pizza. The only place to go is Paparazzi. Try their bakery. It's incredible. They got a bar there now. You can watch all the games and you can drink, have a nice cold beer and have a great piece of pizza right there. Yeah. Lunch special. Two huge slices of pizza and a drink for $11 some change. Taco Bell. We got 3 great locations. Panama City Beach. All you Tiger Sharks down there, they got DoorDash. Port St. Joe. Make sure you go by Taco Bell. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN. Nice to be right there back.
Are you ready to go under the lights? Mosley Dolphin football is back.
Wide open down the sideline.
ESPN Northwest Florida brings you live play-by-play coverage all season long. With David Hayes.
Touchdown, Mosley Dolphin.
And Kyle Wright.
You take the top off the defense, and the interception turns into points for the Mosley offense.
Exclusively on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, a chance of thunderstorms and some clouds and a high of 87 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the southeast. For tonight, mostly clouds and a low near 76. Tomorrow, mixture of mostly clouds and light rain and a high around 83. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Hello, this is Rick Vossen with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer, located at 2241 East Baldwin Road. Shopping for a garage, portable building, cabin? We build them anywhere from 8 to 16 foot wide, 10 feet to 60 feet long. We can do insulation, electricity, transom dormers, thermal windows. Come, let's customize a building together. Rick Vossen, Stormore portable building dealer, Panama City.
College football isn't life and death. It's much more important than that. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What's up, bro?
And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Anybody show up the door at 8:30? I hope you were
a little late now. He's still out there.
I've been watching on the little security camera thing.
I don't think he has been. I don't think he's looked at all.
I swear I have.
He hadn't looked.
We don't know now.
We just lost a customer. We better not have. Hey, everything looks bad at FSU right now. Florida, Auburn. The difference between those three is that Auburn, they just moved to number 3 right now in the recruiting classes. They just flipped. And I knew it was going to happen. We told you this a month ago. Knight kid out of Lucedale, Mississippi, the quarterback, 6'4", 210, elite quarterback. This could be the future of Auburn.
Yeah.
They just flipped him from Notre Dame to the Auburn Tigers.
Big time pickup.
Yeah, 2025 quarterback, Deuce Knight. Lucedale, Mississippi. The kid can play. I've heard all about this young man.
That's kind of the missing piece of what's going on right now at Auburn. I mean, they needed a big-time quarterback. I think they'll go to the portal next year, to be honest. I don't think he's going to be ready as a true freshman. But
if you saw this kind of recruiting at Florida right now, Napier would be in better shape.
For sure.
If you saw high school recruiting at FSU right now, you'd feel better.
For sure.
I'm kind of worried about both of them, to be honest with you.
The problem nowadays is you need money to buy high school recruits, and who are those guys? Of course, Florida's in a different position, but Florida State really worries me because who are the big-time boosters over there funding that kind of NIL collective that are buying these high school recruits to compete with Alabama, Georgia, Texas, now Auburn? You got to have those guys to build that foundation within the program. That's why the culture, for me, it looks off at Florida State because you're bringing in one-year rentals, and that's a tough way to build a culture.
No doubt. I want to go back and ask you, give me the SEC championship now. Who is it going to be?
I mean, just taking away the schedules, because there's some teams that have more friendly schedules than others. I saw the 2 best teams play last Saturday, and that was Alabama, Georgia. I picked Alabama to win the SEC at the beginning of the year. I thought, DeBoer would get more out of Milroe, and I thought he would develop a little bit better. I got Alabama, Georgia in the SEC championship game.
You think Bama would beat them if they play again?
I don't know about that. I ain't ready to pick that today.
It's hard to beat somebody twice.
There's going to be adjustments made.
But I will say this. Alabama saw what Georgia's adjustments were. They'll be better prepared for that.
I think so, too. I mean, I think both are phenomenal coaches. I think DeBoer proved himself. I think Alabama fans should be really confident that he's the guy, and they made the right choice because there was a lot of other rumors about, maybe Norvell or some other people. But, he made his adjustments, too. But Kirby's going to make adjustments. They figured some stuff out on offense that they're probably going to exploit a little bit more in the second game. So, this. It's hard to win a game twice. I mean, when you're playing a team twice, it's hard to beat them twice, and especially with that talent level. I picked Alabama to win the SEC. Would I pick them today, right now, to win the SEC championship game? I'm still not sure, but, as that game gets, because there's injuries, everything could happen. But
all right,
I'm going to stick with my pick.
Who wins the Big Ten?
I got Ohio State. I think they got the best roster. Now, I am a little bit worried about that Oregon game just because, Dylan Gabriel can put a team on his shoulders if he's playing really well. And mobile quarterbacks give Ohio State a little bit of trouble. Michigan State quarterback has some success running the football, running a little bit of zone read. But, when you look at that defense, the front four is phenomenal. The secondary is phenomenal. They got Caleb Downs at the back end. Their wide receivers, that freshman wide receiver, Jeremiah Smith. We talk about the kid from Alabama. He's just as good. He's a Julio Jones clone. I mean, and Will Howard's been way better than what anybody could have thought.
ACC.
I got Miami, but I'm less sure about that pick now with the way Clemson's played after the Georgia game. I think they're right there, and the way they looked against Virginia Tech, that Miami defense did not look good at all, and I see some red flags there. I mean, they looked very soft in that game. They weren't very physical. They weren't tackling very well, and Virginia Tech's no world beater, so I'm going to pick Miami today, but just for the Cam Ward. But, man.
Miami still has Louisville, and both of them still have Louisville to get through. Randy, who do you like in the ACC?
I'm with Jason. I'm thinking, Miami it's theirs basically to lose, but then you look at Clemson and the way they've played since that Georgia game.
They're good.
I'm gonna tell you what, I think that Georgia game probably either embarrassed or really just ticked Dabo off, all of a sudden it's like they're back.
Oh yeah.
I kept telling everybody, look out for Louisville. They didn't look good against Notre Dame. Are they done? Do you think they can?
No, I don't. I think I think Jeff Brom will probably respond the same way Dabo Swinney did. It probably ticked him off because I know him personally, and I know that. The dude hates to lose. I'm just telling you, he's probably the moodiest person when he loses. I'm telling you what, he may come into the press conference, Mr. Nice Guy, answer those questions, but on that practice field and on the field, he's a different kind of guy.
Yeah, even though they lost Notre Dame, they still get a shot at Clemson. They still get a shot. Miami. They control their own destiny moving forward. So you can take that game, say, we don't want to lose, but we can learn something.
Well, here's the thing that people tend to forget. The Notre Dame game is not a conference game.
Right.
Notre Dame doesn't play in football in the ACC.
Right.
So it's not a conference loss.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame's good. I mean,
they are.
That Northern Illinois game, I think, fooled people because they got up for that A&M game. They beat A&M at A&M, which was a really good win. As we see, A&M's playing pretty well. Had a letdown. That's a young coach. Marcus Freeman's still kind of learning, how to be a head coach. But the next 3 games, they've looked solid. That defense is one of the better defenses in the country, especially in the secondary.
They came out like their hair was on fire. They were. Every play, they were aggressive. Big time.
Yeah.
It was like Louisville couldn't do anything. And we've been running the ball. Louisville's been running the ball very easily, in a lot of games. But Notre Dame shut it down.
And Louisville
I think
came
that
back
was a difference
still
in the
fought.
game.
They didn't quit. That was a tough game for them because they got down a little bit early, but they still stuck in that game. So,
all right, switch gears. Let's go Big 12. Who wins it?
Who cares?
I know. I'm with you.
Let's be honest.
Iowa State, BYU.
Give me Utah for 500, Alex. I don't know. Who cares?
Utah State.
Utah.
Just Utah.
Yeah.
All right.
The Utes.
So
Colorado could at this point. Who knows?
Okay.
Colorado.
I'm not saying. Yeah, they just beat UCF after being down 18 or 18-point underdog.
Blind squirrel find a nut every once in a while.
Yeah.
I just don't think. I think
it's that bad of a conference.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before they'd make.
They should not get an automatic bid.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you go back to the ACC. Miami still got to get by number 25 ranked Louisville. And they got Clemson regular season?
No.
Okay, good. So they do that'd be huge.
If I'm Florida State, I hang my entire hat on beating Miami this
Clemson
year.
Still, what about
you got left to play for?
Right,
I'm focused on Miami. If I can ruin their season, at least it gives my fans something to be happy about all year long.
So after this weekend, I'd hate to be in Tallahassee right now.
Oh yeah,
because I'm telling you, after this weekend, it's going to be ugly. They're going to be 1-5. I just don't see them beating Clemson as good as Clemson's play. It's in Tallahassee, and I guarantee you,
they're starting
at the
a new
half, there are going to be a
quarterback.
lot of empty seats.
Right.
Yeah, they're starting a new quarterback. Who knows?
I know.
Who knows?
The worst thing that can happen to me, for Norvell, is he come out and play well.
We got a minute. Anything you want to share?
No, I just like to see the Florida teams doing whether it's Florida, Miami, Florida State, South Florida, Central Florida. I just like to see them do well, and it's just tough right now when you got Florida State and Florida both just struggling big time.
Yeah, and they got that UCF game this weekend. So,
All right, keep it right here. We got Ryan Mulvey, 11-1. David, the Underdog's got a great show lined up for you. Don't forget, Mosley's off this week. Next week, what a game. My goodness, Niceville, Mosley for the championship. We got to pack out Tommy Oliver. They get a great environment when you go to Niceville. We're going to make it that way at Tommy Oliver next Friday night. But get out and support these high school
I tell you what, the
football
crowds
teams.
have been packing in there at Tommy Oliver.
Yeah, no doubt.
Two best teams to Panhandle right there, man.
We hadn't had a game like this in a long time. Yeah. All right, we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. You here tomorrow?
Yeah.
We are picks, and you guys have a great day. Randy is gone. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
We're up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Hurricane Helene.
And breaking weather as it happens.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, a chance of thunderstorms and some clouds, and a high of 87 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the southeast. For tonight, mostly clouds and a low near 76. Tomorrow, mixture of mostly clouds and light rain and a high around 83. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.